Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the news podcast on TayNinhTV with some last events now province as well as nationwide. And now we come into details. Ladies and gentlemen, on the afternoon of May the 28th, the Prince of Wales Council Supervision Delegation organized the supervision of the implementation of the work of improving the quality of education and training according to Resolution number 10 of Prince of Wales Council issued on the December the 10th of 2020 on the social economic development of the province in the period of 2021 to 2025 for the Prince of People's Committee. The Vice Chairman of Prince of Wales Council Wing Hong Seung chaired the meeting, and Mr. Doan Tung King, Vice Chairman of Prince of Wales Committee, attended the supervision section. Through supervision, it can be seen that the education and training sector has performed many tasks well. In particular, the 2018 General Education Program was implemented promptly and on schedule. The team of managers and teachers basically met the requirements of implementing the 2018 General Education Program, and both in terms of professional qualification, pedagogical capacity, and the spirit of innovation and creativity in teaching. However, this work still faces some difficulties. The facilities and teaching equipment in many schools have not met the requirements, and the teaching equipment has not been invested by synchronously. In particular, the shortage of teachers continues to occur, and currently the whole TayNinhTV province is still short of more than 1,000 teachers, of which the majority are preschool teachers with more than 350 teachers compared to the norm. The monitoring delegation has proposed that the Prince of Wales Committee increase the budget allocation for education, prioritizing investment resources for remote areas and industrial zones. At the same time, it directs the review and evaluation of the effectiveness of support policies for the teachers and managers in order to soon have the solutions to build a stable human resource attached to the industry in the coming time. The Deputy Minister of Justice Nguyễn Thanh Ngọc stated that the legal education in the current period must go hand in hand with the policy communication, especially the major policies that have impacts on the social, economic, security, and defense. And in order to promote the legal education and dissemination, at the inspection of the legal education and dissemination in TayNinhTV province by the Standing Committee of the Central Council for Coordinating Legal Education and Dissemination, for coordinating the legal education and dissemination, the Deputy Minister of Justice Nguyễn Thanh Ngọc requested that in the coming time, TayNinhTV province needs to diversify the forms of legal education and dissemination, identify the needs of each subject so that the work of legal education and dissemination is carried out in the right focus and effectively. At the same time, the province must continue to promote its roles and responsibility in coordinating the dissemination and education of law at all levels, focusing on integrating the legal education and dissemination into professional activities of departments, branches, and sectors, and from there, raise the social stability, improve the people's knowledge, contribute to promoting the local social economic development. And on the morning of May the 28th, a dialogue conference on the legal support for the women-owned businesses took place with the topic Some Notes on Business Contract Law and Risk Control Perspective. The conference was organized by the Department of Justice of TayNinhTV province in coordination with the Departments of the Dissemination, Legal Education, and Legal Aid under the Ministry of Justice. This is a practical activity to promote the gender equality in the economic field, increase access to law, and support policies to the state of businesses and cooperatives owned or led by women. At the conference, delegates were introduced and analyzed by Master Hoàng Minh Chiến, the lecturer of Hanoi Law University, on the topic of some notes on business contract law, risk control perspective. At the dialogue, representatives of unions and enterprises also discussed frankly, shared differences from practical operations, and from there proposed specific solutions to perfect the support policies suitable to actual needs. And ladies and gentlemen, over the past 10 years since the National Assembly passed a law on grassroots mediation in 2013, all level sectors in the province have actively and regularly organized propaganda on the law on the grassroots mediation and detailed regulations and instructions for implementing the law to all local officials and people. And thereby, the grassroots mediation work has had many positive changes. Specifically, over 10 years implementing the law on grassroots mediation, the locality has mediated more than 9,700 conflict cases, reaching the rate of 100%, of which nearly 8,000 different cases were successfully mediated, and in 2023, 526 over 576 cases were successfully mediated, and in 2024, 497 over 532 cases were successfully mediated. The inspection and assessment of the implementation of the law on mediation at the grassroots level and the mediation work at the grassroots level are carried out periodically, even every year, and in many firms also, and thereby contributing to raising the awareness of the cultural peoples about the meaning and the role of mediation work at the grassroots levels. When disputes and conflicts arise, the people proactively request mediation at the grassroots level, and thereby contributing to strengthening solidarity among the people and stabilizing the security and order in the locality, preventing the crimes and violations of the law. And in the context of unpredictable changes in the world and regional situation, hostile forces are promoting the strategy of peaceful evolution, promoting the self-evolution, the self-transformation, improving the political method of the armed forces in general, and the military and self-defense forces in particular is becoming more urgent. This is a key factor to contribute to building a solid national defense posture, maintaining political stability and social order and safety right from the grassroots. With the motto, where there are people, there are military, the regular military force plays a core role in the task of combat readiness and protecting the locality. Not only it is an extension of the regular armed forces, they are also an important bridge connecting between the party, the government, and the people, directly contributing to propaganda, mobilizing the masses, and creating a solid position of the people's heart. And in order to improve awareness, political capacity, and combat readiness, Lieutenant Provincial Military Command has organized an advanced training program for the standing military force, in which political education content is always identified as one of the key and continuous tasks. For the political education on standing military training course, the military command has determined to educate 12 lessons, of which there is a plan. A specific assignment plan has been issued for each teacher to undertake 1 to 2 lections to conduct in-depth and educate each content. And during the class, we combine with the slideshows and use specific illustrations for each lecture content to make it more vivid. And through its training section, the regular military soldiers have significantly improved their political awareness, strengthened their revolutionary vigilance, and especially their ability to be immune to distorted and untrue information spreading on the cyberspace. And they not only study to understand but also study to practice, to return to their units and localities to continue to do a good job of propaganda and education for the masses. This regular military training course is extremely necessary for each regular military because this training course equips and cultivates its soldiers' political spirit. And during the training period, the soldiers and I also grasp the goal of fighting to protect the Vietnamese fair land in the period of national development and innovation. I can perceive the loss of hostile forces against our country today. Through those lessons, I can learn from the moral ideology and style of the President Ho Chi Minh. So, learning and following the President, I see it's a necessary thing for today's youth. Practice shows that political education is the foundation of building a strong, comprehensive, disciplined, allied, and gradually modernized military force. And it is not only an urgent task but also a long-term strategy to strengthen the defense and security potential at the grassroots level, contributing to protecting the fair land in all situations.
On May 28, the working group led by Colonel Nguyễn Tấn Linh, Deputy Chief of Staff of Military Region 7, inspected the selection and training of the units participating in the parade to celebrate the 80th anniversary of the August Revolution on August 19 and the National Day of the Socialist Republic of Vietnam on September 2nd, abbreviated as Mission 880 of Division 5. Receiving and working with the working group were Colonel Trần Hoàng Giang, Political Commissioner of the Division, Lieutenant Colonel Nguyễn Văn Anh, Deputy Division Commander. Participating in Mission A80, Division 5 was entrusted by the military region with the task of selecting and training the Airborne Special Forces unit. Of the total 244 troops, 113 cameras were selected to participate in the parade races. Speaking at the inspection, Colonel Nguyễn Tấn Linh, Deputy Chief of Staff of the military region, emphasized that participating in the parade on the occasion of the 80th anniversary of the August Revolution and National Day on September 2nd is a great honor and right for the armed forces of the military region in general and Division 4 in particular. The Deputy Chief of Staff requested the forces participating in the mission to always strictly abide by discipline, promote the highest sense of responsibility, actually train and closely coordinate with related forces to excellently complete the training content.
And implementing the circular number 12 of 2005 of Ministry of Public Security in the driving license test organized by the Traffic Police of the Public Security this time. And there will be many new and notable changes, receiving the high response from many candidates participating.
With this new regulation, candidates who failed the theory test will still be able to take the practical test. The Traffic Police Department of the Provincial Public Security said the content of the driving test for classes A1, A, and B1 includes both theory and practice. In case of failing the theory test, the practical test will still be taken. Candidates will have their results reserved to retake the failed test within 1 year. The new regulation of the Ministry of Public Security. The new regulation of the Ministry of Public Security is assessed to have saved a lot of time and cost for both candidates participating in the test and the testing organization.
And currently, localities are focusing on accelerating the housing and land support for households under 3 national target programs, as well as eliminating temporary and dilapidated houses. Under the direction of the Prime Minister, the implementation of the program has helped thousands of households have the solid and sturdy houses and creating the motivation to escape poverty sustainably, and we recorded in Đắk Nông province. And currently, the localities are focusing on accelerating the housing and land support for the household under 3 national target programs, as well as eliminating temporary and dilapidated houses under the direction of the Prime Minister. The implementation of the program has helped thousands of households have the solid and sturdy houses, and creating motivation to escape poverty sustainably. In the period of 2021 to 2025, Đắk Nông province has been allocated thousands of billions of Vietnam dong to implement the national target programs, and in addition to implementing the projects to develop infrastructure, roads and irrigation, the localities also focus on supporting housing for the people. And currently, Đắk Nông is accelerating the sub-projects related to the housing and land for the poor household, near poor household and meritorious households. The locality has integrated national target programs as well as sustainable poverty reduction and socialization program to support the people. And the plan is to complete the elimination of the temporary houses before August 30th of 2025. And the policies of building houses for the poor household has helped Đắk Nông soon complete the poverty reduction target and creating motivation for the poor household to strive to rise up and escape poverty sustainably. Before, my family lived in a temporary house and had no money to build a house. Fortunately, the state supported me and my family to have a house, and thank you for the state policies for supporting the family. And currently, Đắk Nông province is focusing on resources to complete the programs to eliminate temporary and dilapidated houses and support the housing and residential land for the people also. And the goal is to complete the housing and residential land support before August 30th of 2005, 4 months ahead of schedule and right before the province merger. Up to this point, Đắk Nông still has about 261 over 1,755 houses that need to be continued, and it is estimated that about 20 billion dong is also needed. And I will report to the provincial party secretary head of the steering committee to continue calling for sponsors. It can be said that by removing difficulties and obstacles, promoting the housing and residential land support program, and eliminating temporary and dilapidated houses, Đắk Nông has created a new driving force to thousands of households. For thousands of households to rise up and escape poverty is a sign of play. Many houses have been built with the love of compatriots and thanks to the cooperation and support of the philanthropists, the business community, and the whole society, demonstrating the spirits of mutual love and support. And the conference on training invigilators for the return high school entrance exam for the 2025 to 2026 school year, organized by the Department of Education and Training on May the 28th. At the conference, Mr. Huỳnh Văn Chớ, head of the Examination and Digital Transformation Department, deployed the training on important contents, including the instruction from the Department of Education and Training on invigilators for the return high school entrance exam for the 2025 to 2026 school year. The forms for invigilators, instruction on organizing return entrance exams, circular number 30 over 2024 of the Ministry of Education and Training, and the regulations on administration to junior high schools and high school. Circular number 24 of 2024 of the Ministry of Education and Training, and the regulations on high school and graduation exams, and thereby helping the team of exam supervisors to be fully equipped with the necessary knowledge and skills to complete their task well, contributing to the organization of the exam successfully, safely, and in accordance with the regulations. Continuing to strengthen the work of ensuring food hygiene and safety on May the 28th, the interdisciplinary inspection team chaired by the Department of Industry and Trade of the Ninh Province conducted a surprise inspection at a number of food businesses in Châu Thành district.
The two establishments inspected were Cường Dung Convenience Store at 347 Road 786 Thanh Trường Hamlet, Thanh Điền Khmer Miêu, and Winter Milk Diaper Store in Thanh Phước Hamlet, Thanh Điền Khmer Miêu. The inspection team reviewed factors related to food safety such as storage conditions, origin of goods labels, anti-counterfeit stamp, barcodes, expiry dates, etc. At the same time, the products were also visually inspected for color, taste, size of precipitation, or packaging deformation. As a result, all establishments strictly comply with legal regulations in food business. At the time of inspection, no cases of counterfeit milk trading, an item that had been warned by the authorities, were detected.
And according to information from the Customs Department Region 7, in recent times, the situation of smuggling, trade for, and illegal transportation of goods in the provinces has still had complicated developments, and the work of preventing smuggling and trade fraud has always faced many challenges. In that situation, the Customs Department of Region 7 has strictly implemented the instruction of the government, the Ministry of Finance, and the Steering Committee of 3 at all levels. In recent days, the Customs team at the Kim Thanh International Border Gate, Lào Cai province has proactively developed a variety of plans to motivate and maximizing the effectiveness for the fight against smuggling and trade fraud. Strengthen professional measures from the reception, inspection, and supervision stages. Maximize the resources and human resources proactively detect violations related to commodity management policies and counterfeiting the good origin. Up to this point, the unit has detected over 75 administrative violations and a total amount of fines reached for nearly 200 million Vietnam dong. And in addition, there were assessed and violating of over 7 cases of smuggling of goods that violated the regulations on specialized management, violations of illegal transportation of goods. And after the merger, the operating area of the Customs branch of Region 7 spans for 5 provinces of Lào Cai, Hà Giang, Điện Biên, Lai Châu, Sơn La, with a border of nearly 1,400 kilometers. Especially during the peak month of the anti-smuggling and anti-traffic, the branch will directly instruct the border gate custom units and custom control teams to strictly implement the central direction as well as urgent telegram 65 and directive number 13, review the key goods and goods with high export rates. We determine the responsibility of each head of each unit and handle its case showing a size of assistance in smuggling traffic and at the same time improve the effectiveness of coordination with the functional forces to proactively fight. And since the beginning of the year, the custom branch of Region 7 has drawn up records to handle 117 administrative violations. The amount of fines collected to the state budget is nearly 530 million Vietnam dong, and the entire dossier, subjects and exhibits have been further investigated and handled by the authorities in accordance with the provision of law. And ladies and gentlemen, that's all for today, TV News. Thank you for being with us, and goodbye for now.